He's the Labour MP for Birmingham Perry-Barr. He's also the longest-serving Muslim MP in Parliament. And this week he organised a meeting between Keir Starmer and Muslim MPs. Khalid, lovely to see you this morning. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. I was really intrigued by a piece you wrote, I think it was for The Times, criticising the Muslim Council of Britain for its response to the murder of 1,400 Israelis by Hamas. Do you not think that there have been enough mainstream Muslim voices condemning Hamas?
I think there's been a lot of Muslim mainstream voices now that have condemned Hamas. I, again, want to condemn Hamas for the 7th of October. I think it was totally barbaric. But I think also one issue has to be raised is that where was the responsibility of the IDF and the government to allow these people to run riot for 6 hours before any action was taken? I think so. The Netanyahu has some questions to answer as well for allowing this escalation to take place.
When we look at the protests that are going on in the streets of London, one thing that confuses me, and maybe you can help me with this, Khalid, is we've always heard that it is obviously Islamophobic to try and conflate in any way peaceful Muslims with any kind of terror atrocity. And yet at the same time, we have seen these pro-Palestinian marches on the streets of London and elsewhere who seem to be happy to share a platform with people who are supporting terrorists, who are supporting Hamas. How do we square that circle, Khalid?
Well, I think those people don't help the cause of the people over the last almost 21 years since I've been in Parliament, that I've always fought against since 9/11, against terrorism, radicalisation in the UK and terrorism generally across the world. And that does no good to any community, certainly to the Muslim community, to have those people on board. What we've got to do is get the mainstream of the community having a peaceful protest, highlighting the issues that he wants to highlight. And that's the only way forward. When
the Met Police and the head of the CPS talk about this many meanings of jihad, is that right? Or if people are calling for jihad on the streets of London in the context of a pro-Palestinian march, where also people are talking about Jews in very anti-Semitic terms, how should we interpret that use of the word jihad?
Well, first of all, any form of anti-Semitism is deplorable, has its anti-Muslim feelings also, I think, in the same way. But I think, look, there are lots of meanings to jihad. And I think also we have to be very careful, those people that are using the word jihad, to understand what environment that they're using it in. And I think it's difficult for the police to be able to determine that. And that's a real issue. I don't know what operational guidance that there will be for them to do that. But I think in order to have a proper representation of the people that are suffering in Gaza, you don't need to bring these sort of words into that arena.
On the subject of a ceasefire, Khalid, I know there are a mounting number of Labour MPs now calling for Keir Starmer to support a ceasefire. He's talked about humanitarian pauses. He's previously says that Israel has a right to defend itself. Where should the Labour leader go from here? Because this infighting within the party seems to only be getting worse.
Well, I think, look, I think Keir met us, as you said, last week. He's agreed to meet us again as soon as we want to be able to meet and see whether how the situation progresses. So he's quite keen and happy to do that. I think, look, this has been a very quick evolving situation. And sometimes politically trying to keep abreast of it has been difficult. So Keir, last week on Wednesday, issued a statement on pauses. I think now the United Nations are calling for a sort of, again, a cessation of violence. There's been a vote taken on that. And we need to move forward, whatever the term is, whether it's ceasefire, cessation of violence, or a pause. We need to stop the fighting and get aid into those people which are suffering hugely.
Is there ever going to be a hope, though, Khalid, of such a kind of diplomatic or military downing of weapons when Israel are having to negotiate with actual terrorists who have a founding charter which commits itself to the annihilation of all Jews? How do you broker a ceasefire with a terrorist organisation?
I think, first of all, look, I have no love lost for Hamas. I think what they're doing is putting a lot of people in harm's way. And I think also Israel has a responsibility to look at the amount of people that are being killed through the action that's going on. But as far as Hamas is concerned, what you will only resolve this by dialogue. Nobody will resolve this by any form of military action. And of course, the lives of those hostages that are there, it's important that we get those people out. Qatar has said that they will support to try and bring those people out. But there's got to be, again, a cessation of violence. But the only way to negotiate with Hamas is getting the Arab League, the people from the Gulf region, to sit together, work with them, and then will have to ultimately be a United Nations and an Arab League force going into there and try and clear that out. That's the only way you're going to do it. You're not going to do it by a particular violence and war that's going on at the moment.
Yeah. What's your reaction to your colleague Burnham Mahmood? She has said that Israel is guilty of collective punishment in Gaza. She's the Shadow Justice Secretary. Should she be using that language?
Well, look, what's happening at the moment in Gaza is very difficult. And when you've got people that have no choice in a very built-up urban environment, and those people are being attacked like that, I think there has to be a cessation in that violence to stop that. I think people are trapped. So what words can you use? I don't know what words are right to use in this example or not. But the fact is, Netanyahu didn't respond in time to allow these people take lives of 1,400 Israelis.
I know, but it's still the fault of the terrorists. It's the fault of the terrorists for taking the lives, surely.
No, but why? No, IDF and the government has a responsibility to Israeli citizens to ensure that they keep them safe. In this instance, for 6 hours, they allowed these people to run riot and not do anything. Where's the inquiry into that? Where are the facts around that? And so you can't now just abuse the fact that we've got a right to defend because those people died. Where's the questions answered on that?